Good morning, everybody. My name is John Kennedy, and welcome to the BNI meeting this morning. Today I'll have my feature presentation, and I'm going to talk about mortgage broking, and I'll be telling you everything about what mortgage broking is all about and how we go about doing mortgage broking. My referral part, or ideal referral rather, for me is virtually anybody that owns a property or wants to own a property. There's various aspects of mortgage finance and mortgage broking, and looking forward to my presentation early on. Thank you. Thanks guys.
Humble as well.
Just an introduction. That's the team at Aussie in Gepps Cross. The gentleman very far left has left us, unfortunately, but it's Lisa. She's a personal assistant to me and Andrew. Then it's Yvonne, which is Andrew's mom, Andrew, and then the gentleman on the left, or your right, sorry, is Ilario. You've met Ilario. I think he stood in for me a couple of times. So why would you want to approach a mortgage broker, and why not go to a branch directly? There's various reasons, which is up on the board there. But if you go into a branch to go negotiate a loan with a lender, no matter if it's a purchase, a refinance, whatever it might be, you're going to ask him for the best rates. Is he going to give you the best rates? I can guarantee you no. Why not? Because he's only competing against himself. There's nobody else he can compete against. So why should he give you the absolute best rate on the table? They need to make their money. But with a broker, they are now competing against 22 other lenders, okay, on that panel, and they all want the business. So how do they get the business? By giving incentives through to us, which we pass on to the customer. We can do pricing requests and discounts, for instance. So despite the fact that the banks are competitive on our panel, we can even still go further to that bank which you've selected and request a further pricing request and further discounts. And that's the advantage of coming to a broker instead of going to a branch itself. So then why use John Kennedy? First thing is Aussie acclaimed. So Aussie's got a very good name out there, good reputation, and I carry the brand behind me. 39 years banking and finance experience, which is nothing to sneeze at. The professional and personal service that I will give to you, I seriously go the extra mile. In my career of 9.5 years as a mortgage broking, I physically had 2 declines out of 9.5 years. I will get you a loan, bottom line. Unless you've got a crooked credit history or whatever, that's a different story. I can't do anything much about that. But if it's a clean-cut case, you've clean records, I will get you a loan. Staying in touch and keeping you informed, and that's something I'm extremely proud of. Let me explain to you what happens. Once you've come to see me, I will work through the process with you and we'll submit the loan. Once that loan is approved, I will call you and tell you the loan's approved. I will make another appointment with you to sign the documents and witness the documents for you. On settlement, I will call you again. 30 days after settlement, I will call you again to check if the payment went through, etc., and everything went smoothly. 6 months later, I will call you again just to touch base, and then every year thereafter, as long as you're on my books. All right. So that's the important thing of staying in touch with your customer, reaching out for them, be there for them at all times. Right, next. How can I help your customers? And this is just a list of all the functions that we perform, and I'll quickly run through them. First one is owner-occupied investment properties. That's a normal purchase. First-time buyers, which we used to get a lot of them when we still had the grants. No further grants anymore, except the builder's grant. So that's fallen away a little bit, but they're still coming through. Refinancing for a better deal and consolidation of debt. A lot of customers come to us, got a couple of credit cards, etc., want to consolidate that into their home loan and pay it off over the term. By doing that, also we get them better rates, but also then to shorten the term to lessen the burden for them. Construction loans, self-management super fund loans, not much of them anymore, but we still do it now and then. Family guarantor home loans, very popular. Where youngsters nowadays don't have the deposit, they're struggling to save up. Parents have got the equity in their property, so they come in and they stand as guarantor for the kids to get a property or to buy a property. Family guarantor, so got the bridging loans. If you've got your property, but you bought another one, you can carry that over for 6 months. Land purchase, etc. And then we've also got asset finance, which is the latest that we've embarked on. And yeah, we've done quite a lot of that. And asset finance includes everything about anything. Any assets you can think of, we can finance that. Right, process of consultation. So if a customer comes to see me, what happens? What is the process that needs to be followed? And roughly in a nutshell is, the first thing I will do is sit down and do a needs analysis. It's about the emotion. It's not about selling a product or selling a loan or giving a loan, etc. It's seriously about the emotion. The customer has got a reason why he wants to buy a property or why he wants to refinance. He might have a divorce going on, that's why he has to refinance. Or he's in financial turmoil, that's why he wants to refinance, or just a better rate for that matter. But there's a reason why they do that. You tap on that emotion, draw that information out, get all the facts and figures on the table before we proceed. Then I'll do a serviceability test, a funds to complete test, and then we go through to the lender comparisons, where I can show him what the 22 lenders on our panel has to offer, what they, and how they compare with one another. Then we prepare the loan documents, and then we will then loan submission stage, and then later on will be the settlement stage. Right, so that's basically the process flow line of a consultation. Ideal referral partners would be family lawyers, financial accountants and bookkeepers, financial planners, real estate agents, property managers, and of course BNI members and anybody in between. Right. And just a couple of testimonials. I don't know if you want me to read this. I had this last time on as well. After having a mortgage, after having a mortgage with a major bank for 10 years and never getting anywhere, we decided to refinance. Not being the most financially attractive clients, we naturally had some trouble at the time. John took the time to show us how to position ourselves, and he negotiated a loan with Aussie that has saved our home. Now, only 2 years on, we have knocked over 40,000 off the mortgage and set to be mortgage free in under 10 years. We have saved over $100,000 off the life of our loan. John went beyond the level of service compared to that of other brokers, and we will be returning to him when we purchase our investment property next year. Now, I had this on the board about a year and a half ago, I think, and subsequently to that, he has bought his investment property. So, yeah, our feeling is that John really cared about us and giving us the best options. Just some more if you want to read through that. Okay, and that's the last one. All right, and that's about it. All right, guys, thank you.
So we have got some time for questions. I actually do have one. Well,
Yep.
the first testimonial that you put up there, John,
Yeah.
about you had a client that they weren't financially stable or financially right, and they had some trouble at the time.
Yeah.
What was the issue that you had with them, and how did you solve it?
They had a lot of debt and they had trouble. They were on the verge of actually losing their property. So what they didn't realise was there was a bit of equity in the property, which we could utilise to consolidate all the cards and debts, etc., get rid of them, put it into the loan, but then extended the term back to about 30 years for them in order to bring down their repayments and therefore make it more affordable for them. But then they were relieved from having that burden of paying off all those credit cards and personal loans at a very expensive price. So they literally had about 1,000 or more in their pocket every month. And that they then utilised to pay off their mortgage off sooner, and that's where the big savings came in. Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Because I do have one more.
Go on.
I was just asked, do you help out, when I had my own business and small business, one of the things I found tough was getting a loan approved. Always had to look at a low doc loan because of the way our books were and waiting for finances to go through. Obviously a little bit different now, but that's how it was as a small business owner before. Yep. Does Aussie help out small business owners with low doc loans, and what kind of businesses and companies do you use?
Low doc loans has actually fallen away. There's no such thing really as low doc loans anymore. Yes, Westpac, for instance, would, and Bank SA would allow you, for instance, to have just your last 2 years' notice of assessments, so you don't have to provide any tax statements. They can use that to service the loan, etc. They do have the right, however, to ask for the statements, but that is the requirement. That's the closest you will get to a low doc nowadays. Lending has just become more and more stricter,
Is that
unfortunately.
because of what's happened with the Haynes report?
No, before that already.
Before?
Yeah, before that already.
Like I don't have a small business anymore. Mark's got a question.
Thank you.
Last one.
With mortgage lending, you've got the 80% lend against your equity. You can bump it up to 90% in some cases. But in small business cases, you can go for a 100% loan. You've got to turn it into a business type loan. The house is a security. Do you guys get involved in those types of loans?
We don't do commercial loans. No, we don't. Only residential. That's Aussie's practice, really, to be honest. I've got very good contacts I can refer you to for commercial type of loans, yes. The 80% what you're referring to is basically to save on LMI, Lenders Mortgage Insurance, would be up to 80%. But you can take a loan up to 95%. In a refinance situation, only up to 90%. But in commercial, yes, you can go up to higher, yeah.
Thanks, John.
All right.
Well done. Thanks, John.